so hard?
We were allowed in to the City Football Academy.
Wow. Might be the last time. I've already spoken to the chef. They do not have chips. What's going on here? Check out my boy Frank, new signing.
Okay, new signing, new Cooligan over here.
A little overinflated, doesn't like to move a little bit. That's my guy right there.
We're gonna recreate some goals.
Yeah, there's some goals that I'm thinking about right now that I would love to recreate. I mean, of course, Jesus Medina, just hitting him with that wonder goal to the back post.
Right.
Off the corner.
Maybe we could practice some free kicks with Goody.
Ooh, that sounds goody. All right, baby, we are here with Goody.
We are here with Goody at the
That's this guy. I don't know if you know that. Yeah.
We are here at the NYCFC training ground with Goodmander, Thorarenton.
What? He said the whole name because I wasn't even attempting it.
That was well done.
Right?
Wow.
You practiced.
This is an...
You know in the Bronx they say like, what's Goody? You know what I mean?
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
What is it? I don't know the first Icelandic player to score in MLS. That's what was Goody.
When you're walking through the Bronx, you think everybody's saying your name.
The big fan. What's Goody? He's like, I'm right here. I don't know why you asking so many questions. We want to redo one of those goals from that match. That was pretty incredible.
Now looking at it, it seems they're going to switch that to an own goal. And right off the free kick. Who cares? It's now 3-0.
Oh, what a fabulous finish this is. Just a beautiful, beautiful strike.
That's right, and we'll see if we'll have Goody recreate it, and then we'll see if the Cooligans can recreate it.
Right. Well, put in your bets now. The answer is no. So this is a free kick. Talk to me about what happens in your mind when you see a free kick like that.
It's a little bit more difficult in games because then I have Maxi and Jesus normally standing around.
Right.
So what you're saying, we're at a higher level? Right, we're better? Is that what you're saying?
I figured you guys are so nice. So in this case, we saw that the wall was placed a little bit so I could bend it around the wall.
Right. Were you surprised? Were you like, yo, you seeing the same?
Kinda, because honestly, you're kind of hoping that the keeper doesn't realize that the wall is a little bit too far to the right.
You gotta go poker face. You can't be like,
kinda,
oh my God!
You kind of. So like honestly, in this case, I was standing looking at Maxi like.
Yeah.
You see what I see?
Me.
Yeah,
this one's for Iceland.
Yeah.
So when you saw it, is there how come one of those joints that you do, like these joints?
I like to not think about the wall at all, even though of course you see when the wall is misplaced, you try to bend it around the wall.
And then why don't you show us how to take a free kick, and then Chritian will try, and then I will injure myself.
Yeah. Okay. Oh my goodness.
All right. Also, can we make an NFT out of this guy's thighs? Have you seen quads like this? This is how they drew the Ninja Turtles. The heat that ball put on that net. If I was a keeper, I'd be like, I don't want to stop that with my hands.
You want to give us a
No.
shot?
Yeah, come on, let's go. Where do I place it?
Do what you want to do, but like I'm saying, my routine is more going a little bit more.
Buddy, if it was do what I want to do, I'd be on a couch right now. Okay, I wouldn't be outside sweating. Hey, sorry guys if I hate you. I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right? It went towards the goal.
Yeah, and there is Tati coming and putting it in. That was a great cross. A great cross.
Better.
Closer.
Better.
Closer. No.
It's really sweet of you.
Okay.
See? All right.
You see?
That made me feel so much better.
Oh.
Hey, it went in. No one was laying.
Okay.
Just in the wrong direction. I was trying to get underneath it, and I also think I broke my big toenail. So,
Professional player just stared down right at me.
We've embarrassed ourselves quite a bit. There's really no reason. Everyone realizes we're comedians. You came out looking like you were a trainee, and nah, fam. They're like, no, there's no competition.
All right, let's do it.
Wow. Right?
Well done.
It's a different game, bro. Bienvenidos, estamos aquí con Jesus Medina. Sinceramente un placer. Vamos a recrear otro gol que hicimos, el otro lo hicimos con Chritian.
Y el nivel de este gol todavía.
Sí.
Más alto que nosotros dos. Este nivel no ni lo podemos ver por acá abajo, pero vamos a ver lo que pasa. Cuando yo lo vi, yo dije en inglés, ese fue wild disrespectful.
Now Medina takes the shot. What a goal! Jesus Medina!
Pero lo vamos a recrear, entonces Jesús puede explicar lo que pasó y qué pensaste en ese momento.
Porque este fue de una esquina, ¿verdad?
Sí, bueno, la jugada fue un corner porque decidimos jugar rápido con Maxi.
Yo.
What? We at home. Why am I so zoomed in?
What's good, everybody?
Bam in your face.
What's good, everybody? I'll adjust Alexis's camera, or maybe you should. No, I think you're fine.
Yeah? Okay, well, I pulled back. That's probably why.
Okay.
Notice I'm not in the light. But whatever. What's up, everybody? The reason we are in boxes and not together. For those of you who said betting odds, Nick Red said odds on cause of delay. Alexis using the bathroom is minus 150. Alexis getting food plus 400. And then old ass Corey said, guessing Alexis still waiting for his 48 ounce of cold brew. I got a little bit right here. You know, your boy keeps ready. No, it's that you can hear it in my voice. I'm not feeling that great.
Alexis got the sniffles, caught a little bug out there. All right.
I don't know what the hell happened, but bro, I went to the game on Wednesday. I went to the NYCFC versus Seattle Sounders game, the CONCACAF Champions League,
and
the greatest Champions League of all time.
It made you sick to see that result.
Oh, dude, I figured, you know what, if they could roll around on the floor, maybe I should do the same thing in bed for the next 5 days.
Right.
That's essentially what happened. I have been essentially bedridden since that day, but I have tested negative for COVID 3 times along the end. I probably shouldn't have said that, because now it's going to take this whole stream and put it in a different category. I tested negative for the boop boop.
Yeah, we're out here spreading conspiracy theories.
You know, they're gonna put us in a whole different category.
Apparently, Alexis caught that disease that isn't real. Okay.
Why do you catch it? But hey, jokes aside, rest in peace to DJ K Slay, who battled with it for
DJ K Slay died
today.
All right. I didn't know that.
Come on, man. Passed away. 3-month battle in a hospital.
I did hear that he was, because he was posting videos saying like, "Yo, this is serious, right?" Wasn't that him talking about that? Yeah. All right.
He was trying to get people to go and get the old
Beep boop.
Yeah, beep boop, because he didn't want people to catch the boop boop.
Right.
You guys know what we're talking about here.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully the algorithm does not. You feel me?
Okay.
But nonetheless, it's not what I have, but you can hear how congested I am. It did move from my forehead down. It was all like here, and I felt it was a head cold, and then it became more of a
cheek cold,
nose cold,
a cheek cold.
Yeah.
All right,
just a beautiful cheekbone cold. And let me tell you something, these cheekbones can handle it. And then you wake up hacking up a little bit, but I'm fine. I don't know how to. I feel like, boop boop also an emo. We need a boop boop.
I love this. The chat is already coming through. Andrew Johnson said Pele COVID, and then Leslie said,
"Hey, stop saying the word."
I'm just saying it. We gotta make sure we gotta be accurate. But Leslie said
bedridden.
Leslie said gotta call him Pele Plague to dodge the algorithm. Pele Plague. Wild. Yes.
Trish Murphy said Alexis is allergic to losing. You know how it is. By the way, my sick ass slept 12 hours on Friday night. I went to bed at like 10 a.m. and I woke up. I'm sorry, at 10 p.m. and I woke up just before 10 a.m. because I was like, I need to watch me. I need to watch a little bit of this Arsenal match as we win. Ooh. Tottenham lost. This is gonna be huge, and I had to sit through that disgusting display while sick. I'm like, I think this made me sicker.
Okay.
So it was boop boop all over.
Yeah, dude. I mean, look, there's we got a lot to cover today, and we'll everybody in the chat should thank Alexis for his sacrifice. Not feeling 100%, but he's gonna bring 100% of that humor to this comedic soccer show. Okay.
Wow. I mean, Christian clearly carrying the load today.
Okay. My back hurts. All right,
bro. Hit the like button if you liked anything Christian said, or if you want me to feel better. Hit the like button.
But no, we're excited.
I just hate being sick for so long. It makes no sense.
I mean,
what I feel?
It does make
sense. I
sense.
feel like an Arsenal fan. I feel like every Arsenal fan.
It makes a little bit of sense. You know, we've if you know, some of us have managed to like go, you know, being stuck at home, going a year to 2 years without even catching a cold. So now that's it. Now that things are opening up, it's the diseases are like, yeah, we back, baby. Okay.
It's that guy it's the guy in the yellow blazer. Like,
What's he? Oh, they think they're just gonna come outside and act like I'm been here.
when you said come outside, you know we've been outside. So we ready for y'all. I will say this. Part of my brain was like, yo, maybe being inside for a couple of months made me immune to everything, bro.
Yeah, that's how it works. That's how it works. It's science.
Part of me was like, yo, I should be out here like licking elevator door buttons, bro, because I'm goody, you know?
No, dude. No, a lot of people have been catching the boop boop. So be careful out there. Stay vaccinated. Do what you got to do. Okay.
Someone said my jersey. What is it? Where is it? Is it Alexis's? Here it is. Chanchada Millonati said Alexis's jersey is the cousin of Rob Lowe's NFL hat. Didn't we figure out that wasn't Rob Lowe? That was the guy who looks like Rob Lowe that owns the Lakers?
Palinka? No, that was Rob Lowe. I think we confirmed that. Yes.
By the way, this is the Nike FC special edition from the World Cup a few years ago, which we bought together in Portland.
Yeah, we were holding hands. We said we
both put it on. We put it on over both of us, and the guy at the store was like, "I don't think that's necessary."
Somebody did. I just want to before we get the show started. Joe Whitlock just said R.I.P. Archie Eversole as well, creator of the "We Ready" song at Atlanta United matches. Yeah.
He also created another song for them.
Yeah, I don't know what
other. Another song he created specific. They took "We Ready" and made it their anthem.
Right.
But he wrote one specifically for Atlanta United after that.
Yeah.
And I think that's when he got to hit the golden spike or whatever. So yeah, R.I.P.
Yeah, he we never met. I don't think we ever did, but he followed us and we followed each other on social media and stuff like that. And yeah, young guy. I mean, it sucks to hear news like that.
Horrific.
Yeah, but obviously best wishes to his family. But yes, really, really terrible. But same
thing, by the way, same thing with DJ K Slay. I know a lot of people might not know who he is, but there was a time when that Street Sweeper, mixtape series, the Drama King, K Slay,
yeah,
Smack Your Favorite DJ, he was a lot of my personality, mimicked his personality, not directly, but like we must have drank from the same water fountains growing up. You know what I mean? We must have drank the same Arizona iced teas because he had a lot of he took the Alexis to the 10. He dialed Alexis all the way to the 10. He was just a wild character.
I thought Alexis was already at 10. But okay.
No, maybe this is me at a 7.
It can get worse than this. Okay.
Oh, you have no idea. Can't stay me on that liquor.
But yes, exciting show today. Obviously, a lot of Premier League results and news to go over. FA Cup. Also, we had some semifinals. We know, obviously, who's going to be playing in the FA Cup final. Yes, Eagle-Eyed Football was, as mentioned earlier. They're a little bit bummed about that result. But
that was a tough one.
But a lot to go over today. Obviously, Manchester United news as well. But as always, thank you for joining us. If you listen to this podcast, if you're here on YouTube Live, if you don't know who we are, my name is Chritian Polanco.
I'm Alexis Guerreros.
Okay, we're here.
Yeah, I didn't complain about doing an intro. And also, crowd, let me know if you notice a slightly more relaxed Christian. This is what I talk about. I think his girl has eucalyptus or something in the apartment. I think she, she likes eucalyptus candles or something, or maybe plays like jazz at a very low volume. Because Christian, way relaxed, way more different than when we're together in the same room.
I mean,
tell me if I'm wrong.
It's the tension and anxiety when being around Alexis Guerreros that I feel safe at this distance. We're a couple miles away from each other.
I gotta make Christian less safe. Can I call a TaskRabbit to release a snake inside of Christian's apartment. I need more tension.
So yeah, we a lot to cover today. And shout out to everybody for subscribing, especially on YouTube. We're almost at 4,000 subscribers here on YouTube, so
we're right there.
Hit the subscribe button if you have not. Yes.
Nick Red said, "You sure it's not that it's legal to buy weed in New Jersey?"
Yo,
Christian on them edibles, huh?
I think it's going to be fully legal in like 3 days. I saw Aaron West.
Is it not already?
No. Like I think now it's legal, but now the dispensaries can open. So I believe it's April 21st, and I saw Aaron West tweet this out that they could have gone and made it the first day be April 20th, 4/20, but they chose to do it the next day, which seems like a missed opportunity.
No, I think it's smart for them because I don't think anything would have gotten done in the state had weed become legal on 4/20.
It would have been like a weed Black Friday, dude. 4/20, first day, just everybody.
Everyone's like, "Do you remember where you were on 4/20?" No, man. That's how you know it was cool.
So,
people in England right now are like watching or listening to this, going, "Wait, what?
Is marijuana legal?
Like, I think
not at all. In the UK,
it's like 1995 out there.
Oh, really? I didn't know that. I thought they were they're more chill. I guess not. All right.
No, not at all. Still get very, very much arrested.
I mean, they could use it too, man. They need it more than we do.
Bro, just with all the rain, you know what I mean? Just lift your spirits with them dark clouds over you, bro.
Dimitri said 4/20 plus 1. That's what they're doing. That's it. It's the 4/20 plus 1 rule. Everybody know that?
Yeah, yeah. Bundesliga made it very popular. It'll never happen in England.
Okay, so where to begin today? I know I never look at the title or or usually the thumbnail.
Dennis Higgins said, England just got cracked for the first time.
Yeah, they're gonna have a quite interesting next 5 years.
Wow. Let me tell you something. The energy of the music is gonna change a little bit. Shouts to Brush. Thank you for hanging out with us, Brushy87. Yeah, you never look at the thumbnail.
I did now. So it says the European Super League 1 year later.
The 1 year anniversary. The announcement.
What a beautiful time! It's a good time to celebrate. All right.
Do you remember? Do you remember where you were when that announcement happened? Because I do.
Where were you?
It was like midday for us. It was like Sunday evening in England.
Mm-hmm.
But it was like midday for us. I believe it was a Sunday. I'm already forgetting. But I remember when the news came out, I was like, well, that'll never happen. And then as you keep reading, it says like, here are the teams that have already signed on to do it. And I was like, wait, what?
Right.
And it sent people were going to sleep in Europe, but for us, we had all day to talk about this.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember sitting here thinking, like, will this actually happen? Should we send them a reel of us so we can get hired by the Super League? Be like the Super League content creators? There were so many.
You know, we're really
we're Korean now.
We're leaning into this new brand. You know, these brands they need they need influencers. We're happy to help.
Alexis is doing food challenges. Christian's doing workout vlogs. Yoga Boy, that's his name.
Because we've heard of sports washing, but how about pod washing or comedy washing?
Content watching. What you need some inspiring content, uplifting content.
Okay, people they're not gonna pay attention to all the oil on those little birds if you're doing some cool trendy TikTok dances. All right.
Yeah. You know, one way of people forgetting that there's bodies inside the stadiums is if why don't we just take a look at what are the best potato chips from your region?
Okay, it's gonna really bump up in the Google rankings. They're not gonna look at the other stuff. It's gonna get buried down there.
At the very least, we deter the eyes. You know what I mean? That's all we're looking for, is just to bring them from here over there, you know? So Crimson Pizza said, damn, Alexis beat me to my joke. an ice cold brew said it took a second for it to sink in when I first heard like all the worldwide ramifications. I didn't think, part of me, and this happened with the Columbus Crew situation, where I was like, you know, you can tell where I'm from, because I was like, rich people are gonna get their way.
Right, that's how it
Don't
always
worry.
works.
We don't stop them. We got to do things around their rules. That's my first thought. And then there's people who are like, no, we have lawyers and we're going to stop them from doing this thing, or we're going to protest. And I'm like, protest? That doesn't change anything. What you need to do is like, you got to use the rules against them. You got to find loopholes. I'm that type of dude, right? Yeah. So that's my first thought. So when fans started protesting, I was like, what are you doing? You know what I mean? I'm like, what are you're gonna get a bunch of billionaires to change their minds? Real cute. And then like 48 hours later, they did.
Right. And it was surprising that it actually worked, but it had to be, pretty incredible, somewhat violent, right? Manchester United, you had to storm Old Trafford.
Yeah.
There was,
you had to put fear in their eyes.
Because this is the thing, is that billionaires think they're safe. And sometimes when they do things that the masses don't like, they forget that we can eat the rich. They don't know.
You forget that by the masses, you mean a lot of people, There's a theory that they used they had to use like AI to figure out. Was it 10 billion lions versus the sun? Who would win?
10 billion
lions, versus the sun. The sun, as we know.
Yes, yeah, I've heard of it. Yes.
Who would win? I don't know. Is it a keepy uppy contest? I'm not sure. But 10 billion lions heading towards the sun. Who would win? Right? Your first thought is, well, the sun will just burn them as they come. But it's the thought of it is an overwhelming force. Is the thought, right?
Yes.
That's the masses. Now, here we are a year later. Where were you on the idea of this?
Okay, I just want to make sure that we all point out that was the stupidest analogy I have ever heard. And it didn't clear up his point in any way whatsoever.
Absolutely did.
I'm like, why are you introducing this visual into my head? And why am I going to be thinking about this for the next 2 weeks?
Here's the thing. The question is like, you can have arguments like the stupid argument, like, would you rather face a horse-sized duck,
right,
or 100 duck-sized horses, right? The question becomes, can you be overwhelmed by the masses? That is our way of reminding the rich, like, yeah, there's one of you and you got a lot of money. That money ain't gonna protect you when all of us show up at your door.
Yeah.
Now, that said, where were you on the idea of the Super League?
It hasn't really at the time. Nothing's really changed.
Said the masses, a shitload of flaming lions.
A nice cold brew said Alexis versus 300 kindergartners.
Fuck this shit.
Nick Red said, how sick is Alexis?
All I gotta hear is like a bell or a gun go off. These kids are getting duffed one by one.
Nick Red said, how sick is Alexis with that nonsense? These are great questions.
Pretty sure Alexis mixed Dayquil and NyQuil. I may have overlapped. How did you feel? I want to apologize to our editor, Jamie. Good luck making sense out of any of this. Where were you on the idea of the Super League? Were you pro? Were you anti?
You can go through the archives. I was anti. I thought it was a ridiculous idea. There's too much history and tradition with these leagues in their respective countries. It was obviously Florentino Perez and Barcelona, when they were dealing with still dealing with their financial issues, but they're all just trying to save the business. That's all. That's really all that's happening. They're trying to get more and more money from UEFA, and they're trying to wield the power that they have to put some force, on UEFA to get more money, because they have the bigger clubs and they get the majority of the attention. So that's all it was. You understand that they're trying to sustain themselves, but they The main issue is that they're spending too much money, whether it's on wages, whether it's on other stuff. They're irresponsible. And it can't just keep going to the point where you're just paying more. Like we see Erling Haaland, and the obviously he's going to go to a new club in the summer, and the money that's being thrown around and the agent fees and all this other stuff. It's at some point you just got to be like, no, we can't pay that, and move on, and try to build a winning team in another way, and try to have a successful brand in another way. So yeah, anti-Super League. That's it. I mean, yeah, there's no point. I'm on board with what the masses were saying.
Okay, Joe Whitlock said 100 Jordan Pickford size arms or one arm size Jordan Pickford.
Okay. See, these analogies I can get on board. I'm like, now I get it. Yeah.
Now I understand the Super League. Thank you. So look, I was against it, but also intrigued by the idea. Now here's why. The idea of a Super League is not bad. The idea of a Super League that doesn't allow promotion and relegation, or a way for other teams to get in by merit, that's the main issue, right?
Mm-hmm.
Was also the for me, that was really the only issue. Other than that, I'm like, how about we introduce something like ham? Let's spice it up a little bit, huh? General allocation money. It's not real. So here's the thing. Let's take a look at what the European Super League was and say, look, Fiorentino Perez came out a couple months ago, and revealed that there's a lot of clubs that are still interested. There's a lot of clubs that are still signed up for the Super League, and that there's a way forward to do it without the English clubs. Now, that's starting to become a little bit more difficult with every major final involving mostly English clubs, but there is a way to do it without the English clubs. Now, I don't know if that helps or hurts the Premier League. I'm assuming it would hurt it, because it would essentially make the Champions League less important. So if that's all they're competing in, that won't matter as much, because that'll essentially make the Champions League the Europa, and it'll make the Super League the primary league, right? So why don't we fix the Premier League, the Super League? Why don't we make it palatable for the masses?
How do we do that?
Okay, let's take a look at what the rules are, and then we can decide.
Can you send me this link? I don't know. I don't have this.
Yeah. I just pulled it up. This kind of does it in a long form. But okay, so for those of you who don't remember, it was 12 clubs from England, Spain, and Italy. They agreed to start their own new competition, right, that would directly rival to the UEFA-run Champions League. And now here's another thing to keep in mind, right? Everyone was like, you're going to ruin the Champions League. Right, UEFA, they ain't got the cleanest hands in the game either. Them boys be making $11 billion a year.
Why do you sound like Joe Pesci when you're talking about the, UEFA? They don't got the cleanest hands either, okay?
I'm talking like this. They're like, Alexis, you're still speaking into a microphone. I'm just covering my mouth.
Hey,
I'm like, nah, I don't want it.
I think Christian's wearing a wire. I think.
Yeah, it's a pretty big one. It's an XLR, and it's in front of his face. Same one's in front of your face. You saying I'm a fucking rat?
Yo, is this live? Yo, this is great.
Who is he yelling at, though? What drugs is Alexis on to make him feel?
Are these cops in the chat? Why are these people talking to me?
Why do they know what we're saying?
Oh my
okay,
God.
so look, a nice cold brew said, I'm not down with a legacy team that qualifies automatically. All right, which, by the way, they're going to add that into they're talking about adding that into the Champions League anyway. So let's just immediately remove the biggest hurdle for fans, and that's that you automatically qualify because of who you are, not because of what you've done. So let's remove that. So you still have to qualify every season.
Okay.
Now, it's 12 teams. I'm assuming they would be in groups and then a bracket, right?
Sorry about that ad on the right. But what are you going to do?
I mean, you could put an ad blocker on this bad boy.
Okay. Go.
So let's remove that. Are you comfortable with that idea of removing?
Don't ask me about my comfort. I think the idea is stupid, but I understand that might be a better compromise. But sure.
No. But you're saying we look. We have to create a new league. Gun to our head. We have to create a new league. Let's remove the idea of just being able to be in it because of who you are. So there's no legacy clubs.
Right. Okay. So that's better. Yeah, go for it.
Okay. So you like that. Okay. Now, how does this differ than Champions League, right? Because this one, remember when the Premier League started, everyone's like, I can't believe you're breaking out from the FA or whatever, and it was so that they can control their own destiny and make their own money. What if the 12 clubs, and it probably should be more, but let's say it's 12 clubs. What if those 12 clubs each year got to renegotiate the TV deal? Would that cause mayhem?
Every year, yes. There'd be too much negotiating. It would be too much.
But you're not guaranteed who's in it. How about this? All right, how about this? What if only one team gets relegated out of it every year?
Okay. Well,
so there's still a way in and out. It's just a lot more difficult. So the clubs like it because for the most part, you can guarantee yourself in it. But there's still a chance for clubs that have earned their way up to get into it. And what if that team is the winner of Champions League?
But my main thing is...
Wait a minute. I just solved Super League.
You 100% did not, but...
Oh, wow.
But what is the... Okay, so the main thing is that if is the Super League its own league and you're not playing in any other competitions, any other... Because obviously they wouldn't be playing in their domestic leagues, right? How do you resolve that? That's kind of the biggest, I think, complaint that a lot of the fans will have. I mean, let's say, you know, if they're not playing the domestic league, they're playing Super League games at home, and then but their away matches will be incredibly far away. Are you a season ticket holder to a Super League team? And are you traveling hours to go and taking a flight?
Well, season ticket only guarantees you that you only buy home games.
Okay. Well, so even that.
So let's say Arsenal is one of the teams in the Super League. Let's just a team neither one of us like. Let's say Manchester United. Manchester United is in the Super League. If you're a Manchester United supporter, you probably live in China or in New York City.
Okay.
Sorry, little joke there. If you're a season ticket holder to Manchester United, like Flex, right? Our friend Flex, he does go to away games. He tries not to miss a match. He even goes to games in Europe. But for purpose of this conversation, he's a season ticket holder. That gives him home games. His life doesn't change. It's the teams he sees will change. So he's not going to see, Burnley. He's not going to see Everton, right? He's not going to see Leeds, which I know is a big rival for theirs, but still, you're not going to see Leeds. What you are going to see is Juventus. You're probably going to see Arsenal. You're probably going to see Chelsea. You're probably going to see Liverpool, but you'll see, some of the major clubs, AC Milan. You'll see Real Madrid. So home games essentially become Champions League games.
So there's a couple things. And Dennis Higgins in the chat said pulling the Super League teams out of the domestic league is the end game. So I can understand that.
Is that not a good thing, though?
I would say
it happened when the Premier League was created. We're all fans of it now. It took them out of that, FA. It stopped them from having to play. I guess it didn't because you still get promotion and relegation. But for the most part, clubs said, hey, we need to find a way to make more money. And it worked. And we're all fine with it because there's a way for these clubs from the lower leagues to get into it, even though it's extremely difficult and your top six almost always remain your top six.
Yeah. Paulo said, you mean like MLS, meaning as far as the travel. But even given the travel, when Manchester United is playing, you know, a team in London or a team in the north or whatever, regardless of that distance, it might be a 2-3 hour train ride. You know, there's a difference between like in MLS, you might like the teams that are on the East Coast that play in the West, you might get like maybe 100 away fans or something like that, 200 if it's like a big traveling fan base. But
bruh,
like Manchester United, like fans, the away support at every Premier League stadium is like 3,000 away fans, 4,000. It's incredible, the amount of support.
Let me stop you right there. I'm sorry, I had no idea, so I Googled it. Okay. How long is a flight? If we want to go see NYCFC play, let's say LAFC, how long is that flight?
About
from New York to LA?
4.5, 5 hours.
5 hours, right?
Mm-hmm.
Manchester United goes to play Juventus, which is in Turin, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do you know how long that flight is? That's literally the entire continent. I mean, you're spanning the entire continent, not long-wise, but
what is that, like,
otherwise.
Is that probably about the same, 5-6 hours?
2
2 hours. Wow.
What are we complaining about, dude? That's from here to Charlotte.
Yeah, but it's, you know, the passport, customs.
I mean,
the whole headache.
What are we talking about? Manchester, you guys just don't fly as much as we do. We have a much larger country. If we can handle a league in this country, why can't they do something in all of Europe?
I mean, look, that's only one of the issues. The one, I mean, the main. I think the main issue is the tradition of their domestic leagues, and people don't want to give that up, or they don't really want it changed in any way.
Does it change it? All it does is give you something else to reach for. It's like putting something else on top of the Premier League. It's all really it is.
Right. Look, but the teams that are in this Super League, maybe people won't necessarily value their teams just being put into this upper echelon of a league. I mean, that's what the Champions League is for. I mean, look, the main thing is if you're being devil's advocate, why do you want this so badly? That are not financial? It's not about money. Why would the Super League be more entertaining and more fun to watch week in and week out?
It won't. But here's the reason for doing this is because Fiorentina Press came out a few months ago and said, oh, there's a way to... They're not going to stop until they get something similar to this. So my point is, what is the way where they get what they want? They get a league that essentially kind of codifies them. It kind of coddles them into this like thing where they can't really be booted out unless they really mess up, but also gives the fans what they want. Where is that happy medium?
I don't think the Super League is that happy medium, but I do think there is a
Super League as we've known it.
Yeah. I don't think that's the happy medium.
A nice cold Bruce said Pele capitalism.
It's simply they need to look. How much responsibility do we want to put on ownership and how much they spend? And it's getting out of hand. The amount they're being reckless with their money, and their solution to it is let's find ways to make more rather than let's spend a little bit less. I don't understand this is why
here's why I think that doesn't work, and this is why the thought of a salary cap, I forget what they're calling it in England, but the thought of a salary cap in the Premier League essentially kills the Premier League. Now, look, I'm not saying I'm not for it. I'm talking strictly numbers. If the Premier League comes out, like this idea of like players want to play for the Premier League, that's a few and far between. You're talking about your Declan Rice's, your maybe like a Jack Grealish. I know you ain't talking about. Most players are going where the bag is, and that's it. Maybe as long as it's not completely taking away from their ability to win championships or play in meaningful competitions as far as they see it, which is why not everyone ran off to China. But if the Premier League decides, yo, we're gonna institute a salary cap, which means we're gonna be able to offer less money, then other leagues are just gonna say, including France and Germany, maybe not Germany, but Italy, everyone's gonna be like, all right, we're just gonna pay you a little more. And now those big name players are gonna come here. And if those big name players shift over to another country, there goes the viewers.
So why is that? Why should we feel sympathy for that issue? The Premier League does exactly what you're talking about now. They say, you know, a player could be getting offers in France, and then a Premier League team comes and said, we could pay you more. They poach them, and then they end up in the Premier League. The Premier League has all the best players because they have the most money to offer. And that's what it is. Why do you feel it's okay for the Premier League to do that, but other leagues can't be in that situation?
No, I don't get your question. I'm saying you'll never have a salary cap in any league, because I use that as an example, because other leagues will just adjust, and they're not going to be like, well, we'll do a salary too. No, they're going to be like, all right, now's our chance to be number one, and we'll go steal all the best players, and all the best players will want to come here. What? La Liga immediately will start paying people way more than they're supposed to.
They already do,
you know,
and they don't even have the money to pay them, and they find a way to pay them.
Yeah, but who cares about the banks? Fiorentino Perez, one step ahead of everybody.
Dude, it's getting.
The point I'm saying is, you're never going to get the leagues to spend less money, so you do have to find a way for them to make more money. And we know more money can be made because the NFL makes multiples more money than the Premier League does. And that's one country, maybe two with Canada, that watch it.
Sure. But the problem is that there's more soccer fans, more football fans that are so tied to their history and the tradition of how they've understood things to work for the last century, that it's difficult to change that. So they have a say, whether it's financially a good situation for the owners or not. Like, just how they say the owners are the stewards, and they're just not stewards. What's the word? Custodian or whatever of the club. That's their role. The club belongs to that community. They built it. They've supported it for years. It's like what you're talking about is fantasy. No, but it's not fantasy, right? Because we saw what happened at Old Trafford, and we saw that the backlash for some of these decisions are not fantasy at all. People can get very, very upset, and it can actually lead to violence. So
look, I don't think you're wrong, but did that stop the Super League? No, all it did was delay it.
Maybe
the Super League hasn't gone away.
I'm aware of that, but when the decision is going to be made again, or when it gets proposed again, this is going to happen again. I don't know what it's going to take to convince a lot of people, and that's the problem, is that it's too many people that you have to convince that this is a good idea. That
I disagree. What you have to do, and again, look, if there's between you and I, who has an easier propensity to understand evil?
It's not about understanding evil. You still got to convince people.
That's an actual question. Okay, look, if your dog doesn't want to take medicine, what is a dog going to do?
You force it down their throats.
No, you hide it. That's what you do. You hide it.
Okay, well, I've been doing it wrong this whole time.
Yeah, dog. That's why your dog's always barking. You got to hide it in their food, and the dog will just be like, "I'm a little crunchy." You know, this meat was a little crunchy at moments, but other than that, I don't understand. And next thing you know,
right?
You know, they're out. That's literally what they're doing. What they're doing to us. I'm not pro Super League. I'm telling you, they will find a way to put these things into something, whether it's the Premier League, whether it's the Champions League, or whether it's creating a new league that little by little has holes in the contract that allow them to make changes later, or something where they will institute some of these changes. They gon' get their money. That's it. By the way, the word was caretaker, not custodian.
Yeah. And sure, and that is fine. I don't think people are necessarily arguing that some of this stuff is inevitable, and the fact that they want to make as much money as they can, they're gonna do what they're gonna do. So nobody's arguing that. It's.
But would we be better off with the Super League?
How can I answer that question? How can we be better? I don't know. It's some people. You might be a person that says yes.
Jonathan United said, "Not making the other room call ASPC." He could have been hiding it this whole damn time.
He found a way to dial. He knows.
The phone with the big. No,
so no, man. Look, I think the. Would we be better off? My opinion is no, we would not be better off. I think we have a Champions League. I think that's totally fine. I think that it is,
You're literally a fan of a club that might get relegated. We're talking about a league where it would be really difficult to get relegated.
So I don't, it's still, but that, okay. So
would that be better for you? Would you not have a little less?
But we talked about this before. Was it last week or 2 weeks ago about MLS? And I think somebody had asked a question about like, maybe promotion relegation or what will it take for MLS to be as successful as it truly can. And my belief is that promotion relegation is a good way to do it. It introduces so much risk to these clubs and for the owners, but risk is what it's what we love, it's what we enjoy, it's what makes watching stunt videos exciting, because somebody could get hurt. It's why we Cirque du Soleil. It's like somebody could die. This is why it's exciting.
You think that's why people are going to Cirque du Soleil?
No, but the
Cirque
fear.
du Soleil you're going to spelled with a Z.
The fear of something bad happening makes us tune into things. It makes things that are it makes entertainment more entertaining, because something bad could happen, and we love the story of people cheating death or succeeding through insane and dangerous like trials.
But that doesn't explain the overwhelming ratings for the NBA playoffs.
Well, the ratings are that you could lose in the play. The risk is that you got this far and you lose in the playoffs.
So even a league without promotion and relegation still has risk,
right? But the point is that there's a different culture and history to soccer than there is to these other sports and other leagues. So comparing them doesn't really make much sense, because you're asking NBA fans to treat soccer the same way or think about it the same way. Everybody has their own opinion on it, but what we can't deny is that relegation battles are exciting, because we know 3 teams in the Premier League are gonna be absolutely fucked, and it's entertaining because we know.
I think it's great. I think it's great. I think it's awesome. I think it's cool, and it adds something to the bottom of the table, which in American sports, unless you're in the playoffs or fighting to be in the playoffs, there's really nothing for you at the end of the season other than spoiling someone else's season.
Right.
That's really it.
Well, you always like it
in Premier League only happens like from maybe 8 to 15.
The reason we like any sports, I mean, the watching the athletes do whatever it is that they do is fun, but it's the storylines behind it. It's why this show can be fun, is because we're not simply just breaking down the plays and the tactics or whatever, because there's more to the sport and there's more to the activity than simply watching them do what they do. So every NFL has its own MLS. The reason I'm emotionally invested in it, and why I'm okay with the way it is now, and not that I wouldn't want it to change, but the reason I'm okay with it now is truly because I know so much about it, the players, and we've interviewed so many players, and we know some of them personally, and we know that their personal struggles. When Dom Dwyer misses a clear opportunity, I'm like, oh man, Dom Dwyer missed the opportunity. But I'm like, oh damn, Dom, bro, come on. This would be great for your career if you could make get a 10-goal season or whatever, things like that. And that's just my personal connection to it. But then people who are season ticket holders, fans of clubs, they know these players for years. They follow them. There's just a deep connection, and it's all kind of subjective. But the thing you can't argue is that the level of risk risk is the product. That's what a lot of the European leagues and most of world football is selling. That something terrible can happen, so you need to support, and that leads to viewers. That leads to interest. Could it be done a different way? Sure, but it's undeniable that is a fabric of the game, and the fact that in American soccer we don't have it. It's a little bit different. It's a little tougher to sell the game to people because it's not as scary that something bad can happen.
I don't agree. And here's why. Because inherent in all sports is risk. That's why a team loses and a team wins. So the added risk of being bumped out of your league makes it exciting. People are saying in the chat, no, it's exciting. So Trish Murphy says, oh, man, Alexis looks like a little kid who's up too late. I'm on a lot of drugs to be up at all. But whatchamacallit, I don't necessarily agree that the added risk helps. It just creates a different risk. That's all. You know what I mean? I don't know that the idea of promotion relegation, I think, would be immediately make baseball way more exciting. It's already there. They have the AAA, AA, single A. It's already there. In fact, it used to be the way it kind of worked until the main teams bought all the lower league teams. Or made them a part of their system. I think it would be. I like the fact that promotion and relegation exists. I'm not saying removing that. If what they're trying to do is say there's more money to be made by limiting risk, what a lot of teams don't like is they're saying, well, it's like there's only so much of this pie. What you're trying to do is take more of the pie. That's part of the reason why there's such a backlash. Is not because they want to make more money. They want to make more of the money. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, but look, they've made so many concessions already. Barcelona and Real Madrid make more money from the TV deal than the other teams in La Liga do. And
that's killing La Liga.
And the greed never ends.
So if they leave tomorrow,
it hurts the league.
Okay, but does that not also give the league a fresh start? Does that not give the rest of the league an opportunity for a new superstar, a new super club to pop up? Maybe Atletico Madrid becomes the main club. Maybe Real Betis all of a sudden. Maybe Valencia comes back to glory. I'm not trying to say that it should happen, and I think that's kind of how it's coming across. My point is, they won't stop until they get. The World Cup's gonna be in Qatar. You know what I mean? It's, we're playing in the winter. Everything has changed for the World Cup because one country found a way to get the votes. I'm just gonna put it that way. We could have used an envelope. We don't supply a vote, but it would have been nice. All I'm saying is these people of means will find a way to get what they want. So if they're gonna get another league. All I'm saying is they want another league and they want to limit the risk. You're saying the risk is why people call. The risk is still there. There's still risk. You might not win. There's risk for Liverpool this year in that you're good, but you might not win the league. You might end without. You might not get that treble or quadruple, which they're up for. You know what I'm saying? There's still risk, even though you're not getting relegated.
Right. Nobody's arguing that. But the consequence, we're talking about risk. Risk is just the word, but the consequences are really the thing that's more specific to why it's a little bit more exciting or engaging. That something terrible can happen. You lose and you don't get a trophy. Whatever. You'll try again next year. But completely financially almost destroying your club. This is why everybody's, watching Everton, because Everton getting relegated is a disaster because of how much money they've already spent. And it's not only is it embarrassing, but they've already spent so much money. They are building a new stadium. They will be financially hamstrung to spend money on players if they're in the championship. So they can't even spend, because of financial fair play, they can't even spend what they would want to spend to try to get back up to the Premier League. It's a horrible situation, and I'm glued to the television anytime they are playing, or when Burnley's playing, or when Watford is playing, or when Norwich are playing. Because
now,
yes,
right
yes.
Now, what happens if you get relegated? how many people are going to be glued to their televisions when you're in the championship and middling and can't get out of it because of your financial fair play situation? How many people are going to be glued to their televisions when you open a brand new stadium? You know,
they'll
in the
be
championship.
Right, there'll be some, but they'll be
not as many as that are watching now.
Correct, but there'll be So what point are you making? That it's obviously bad to get relegated. Everybody understands that. So you're
saying, like, look, we're all watching now until the bad thing happens, and then you're done. You're out.
Yeah.
And you don't have those eyes anymore.
Okay, and that's the risk. That's the risk you take. I don't feel bad about it. It'd be nice to not get relegated.
Now I sound like one of the owners. You got me talking like one of the owners. Where I'm like, yeah, you made us. You enjoyed it. Well, it's like you and your friends go out to see a fight. One dude gets knocked out. The other guy walks back in the bar. He's like, I'm buying around. We all go back in the bar with that guy. Now there's just one dude knocked out in the parking lot. You get what I'm saying? That's you. That might be you.
That's part of the game. Nobody's complaining about it.
Yeah. Now we're just going in circles. Look, end of the day, you heard it here first. Chritian loves the idea of the Super League. Get it going. Put Everton in it, and they'll never be relegated again.
I did not expect to be talking about this for so long, but whatever.
Here we are.
But here we are. There was there's still a lot of things I wanted.
John Carl Tritt said it true. He goes, then you watch the next bad thing. Yeah, that is true.
That's it, bro. I do want to spend a little bit of time talking about some of the results from the week prior, because obviously there was Champions League, Europa, FA Cup, and we should start there because Manchester City faced Liverpool in the FA Cup and lost 3-2. Sadio Mane with the brace.
Nick Grid said, I feel like the lines flying into the sun made more sense. Robert Vermeulen said, Alexis sides with management once again. Hey, I'm just trying to offer a different point of view here,
But yes, the FA Cup semifinal, 3-2 Liverpool, and really the highlight, the main talking point out of this game was the performance of Zach Steffen, whose 2 goals that he gave to Sadio Mane were pretty. The first one, him taking, and Ice Cobra said, "Don't mention Steffen." This is impossible to not do that. Look, Zach Steffen, we all saw the goalkeeping error that he made. He took too many touches inside the box. Sadio Mane came in, slid in, and hit the ball into the net. Look, it's another thing where we've met Zach Steffen. He's been on our show. Feel terrible for the guy because this is his second FA Cup where he makes a goalkeeping mistake and it leads to a goal. Terrible. It breaks my heart, and for a lot of U.S. men's national team, it hurts it as well. But I saw this from our homie Jeff Adenella, former goalkeeper for the Portland Timbers. If you don't follow him on TikTok, follow him on TikTok because he does a goalkeepers union kind of reaction. So he'll give he defends goalkeepers. And his, the Manchester City defender should have been defending their goalkeeper. Anyway, but he did make the point. He did make the point that John Stones, he said that that obviously Zach Steffen is accountable, but John Stones played him a really poor pass. He played him a straight pass that didn't really give Zach Steffen too much time to think about what decision to make. Everybody was saying, hey, he should have just cleared it. But we all know Manchester City doesn't play that way. They play out of the back. And Zach Steffen, you can tell as far as like the differences between him and Ederson is that how quickly he makes those decisions with his feet. Ederson makes them just a little bit faster. He's a little sharper with that. But the fact that John Stones gave him such a direct pass that was like right kind of at goal, it didn't give him that much time because Sadio Mane was already running full speed when John Stones made that pass. So not the biggest,
Look, Zach Steffen still made a mistake, but he wasn't put in a position where that mistake seems so overwhelming. He was put in a bad position. I barely played, and I know you don't pass into your goal.
Right,
you
right.
pass at the keeper, but not directly at your goal. The pass should be that if the keeper wasn't there, it doesn't go in. That's what I always remember about defending. That said, it's almost as if not being a starter is bad.
Yeah.
It's almost as if being a backup doesn't make you sharp enough when the time comes to be a starter. And you'd love to say that having multiple keepers in training creates such a competition that everyone's super sharp and it elevates everybody. Maybe that's not the case. And maybe now I'm a little worried about Matt Turner going to being a backup, Zach Steffen going to being a backup.
Horvath.
The Slonina kid. Horvath. Is he a backup?
Horvath is, I think he lost his spot and then won it again. Really, right now, the 3 goalkeepers or 4 goalkeepers really in the rotation for the U.S. men's national team are Zach Steffen, Matt Turner, Sean Johnson, Ethan Horvath. Sean Johnson hasn't had a cap in, I think, like over a year or 2 years.
Yeah.
Played
well through the MLS playoffs, but
right.
Maybe if you're looking at keepers that aren't in MLS, a lot of backups. In fact, a lot of the American players aren't doing great in Europe right now.
Right.
Which is something we definitely should talk about at some point. But
yeah. This error, obviously, it gets a lot of highlights, and it was frustrating because they were down 3-0. And it seemed like it was pretty much over. But then the fact that the result was 3-2 is even more frustrating because it's like now highlights the error even more. Because like, if he didn't make that mistake, this game could have gone into extra time or could have gone penalties or whatever. But we saw Manchester City play against Liverpool the week prior. It is for Zach Steffen, you can tell, especially with the second goal from Sadio Mane, that he got beat near post, but he hit it's just like every other. Most players in the Premier League they would take a touch first. They wouldn't even take that shot and volley it on first time. And Sadio Mane was just lethal with that. And if a more informed goalkeeper probably doesn't let that go in, because they in their mind they're like, Ederson probably says this guy can take this out of the air and crack it near post. And Zach Steffen just wasn't there, so it's a risk, obviously, to play your backup in these important matches, especially against this team. It
also wasn't the only backup. I mean, Nathan Ake was back there. This was very much a B team, and it wasn't until Riyad Mahrez, who, as per Bing, is one Riyad Mahrez. Very important. It wasn't until he came in that really things started to turn around for Manchester City. Look, at the end of the day, Manchester City made a decision that they don't want to be stretched going into the final run of the season. They pretty much need to put all their eggs in the Premier League basket and the Champions League basket.
Yeah.
Maybe this competition isn't worth it. And I do think to some degree this is kind of a miscalculation by Klopp to have put this many grade A players, top tier players, his senior squad, if you will, into this level of competition, because, dog, you cannot win a quadruple. You're trying to win the league. You're already behind on points. You're trying to win the Champions League.
Just 1 point.
You're behind on points. Manchester City still have control of it. You're the one who has to catch up to them, and you're burning out your best players? I mean, congratulations. You win the FA Cup. I think it's one of the competitions he hasn't won yet. So maybe there's a little bit more interest to win that. But if you win FA Cup and nothing else this season, I don't think your fans walk away saying, whatever, we won a trophy. This was a successful season. I still think there's a lot of missed opportunities there. Most important being the Premier League title. I think you won the Champions League title already. It'd be great to win that. That's clearly where Pep has most of his sights set on, is winning Champions League and getting over that hump. That gives you an opportunity to hop over him in the domestic league and win the title, which would be huge for Liverpool. Not that they haven't won it, but it would be big. That, I think, is where you focus your attention on. I think you also, if you're Klopp, I think you also should have started your B squad for this.
Yeah, look, Klopp especially was, and Pep do this. They do this as well. They're always complaining about fixture congestion and the players are tired and so on and so forth. So it did feel the even as the game began, and I saw the lineup. I'm like, oh, I don't think Manchester City really cares if they lose this game, and so that's why the even Zach Steffen making that mistake. It was like, oh, was he given the proper support to truly and given all the tools to really go out and win this game? It felt like Kevin De Bruyne and I don't even think he even got in the game, and I think he was dealing with like a knock or something like that. But the fact that lineup was. What is it? B? I don't know. It's hard to say to call any Manchester City lineup a B lineup because all the players are pretty good. But it was Look, the error kind of shined a big light on. It starts the conversation of like that one mistake is like oh well Zach shouldn't. Who's gonna play and go at World Cup? And then you made the point about Matt Turner being a backup and everybody being a backup. Zach Steffen is, for the U.S. has still been pretty good, even as a backup. And if he doesn't make this mistake and they lose the game, it's just that conversation about should he even be at the World Cup. It seems a little harsh. It's understandable, but a bit harsh.
Players need to be playing minutes and be at the top of their form come the World Cup.
Yeah,
being a backup might be fine for now, and it might be part of Greg Berhalter's plan, but that game may have spelled the end of his Manchester City career, and that might be for the best for the American squad, to be completely honest with you. Because now maybe he moves to a club, maybe not as heralded, maybe not as playing for as many championships, but maybe he gets a chance to start wherever he goes.
Sure.
And I would venture to guess that starting at a mid-tier club, right? If Everton gets saved from relegation, which Drew Turo said Klopp is waiting for the Merseyside derby for his squad rotation match. I say sadly as an Evertonian. If Everton's, were to, avoid relegation, and let's say Zach Steffen goes and becomes the starter there, that's better for Zach Steffen. That's better for the U.S. men's national team than if he were a backup.
I agree. Yeah,
at Manchester City, it doesn't make any sense.
It's just that the situation for the U.S. goalkeepers is nobody, in Europe is. Well, I mean, Matt Turner's not even. He's still recovering from an injury. Hasn't played yet, even for the Revolution. Zach Steffen is, where he is. That's the situation he's in. By the time World Cup comes around, should Zach Steffen? I would argue that even training against these Manchester City players might put him at a level above some players that are getting minutes in quote unquote weaker leagues or something like that. But I'm not gonna.
Now I think you've been sipping on what I've been sipping on, buddy.
I'm just saying because even during in the World Cup qualifiers, he's been pretty solid. He hasn't really made egregious mistakes, and he's not. No. And he's not getting
he's a solid keeper, but how do you get someone in their best form? I don't care who you're training against. It's not that. It's minutes.
Not arguing that. I mean, look.
You know what it is? It's risk. Oh.
no, Alexis. It's lions going into the sun, bro. That's what it is.
Think about it, bro. Alexis, what is the Cuban version of chicken noodle soup for when you're sick? A chocolatazo. No, what did you have hey, I'm sick, here's what my mom always makes?
I mean, my mom would like soup. Nothing. She wouldn't make anything in particular. My mom was more like, give me 42 different remedies and a spoon of honey and like some salt on it or something like that. And yeah, the tussin. We did the tussin per use.
Big tussin family.
Okay.
My mom loved the Viva Peru.
Viva Peru is a big one.
Rub.
Yeah.
Viva Peru on your chest. That was huge. She was big on what are those what are those bags of hot water?
Hot
bag?
I don't know what the name, like a heat pad or something like that.
Yeah, whatever those things are.
Mm-hmm.
That was big for her. She had some wild shit. She used to make us do growing up. That were like old Cuban, things. They were like stuff, that you drink that made you like shit. And that was good for you.
Yeah.
There was weird stuff, but I think if I was sick, the most common thing if I was sick was just guisao, which is like, it's like a heavy soup. It's got like corn in it. It's got chorizo in it. It's got beans in it.
Mm-hmm.
Typically chicken as well. And just hot liquids. Just burn your mouth. Liquids. Oh, hot water bottle is what it is.
Yes.
I get that the image you guys have in your head is the one that I used to see on TV, which looks like a big whoopee cushion.
Right.
But that's not what we had. We had a very different. It looked like a pillow. But I've just whatever the soup that's the temperature of a sun with a billion lines coming at it. That is what I would typically have.
Okay, well, what's the remedy for Manchester United? Because
it's ruining another person's career.
The next man up is Erik ten Hag. He has been, Fabrizio Romano announces that there's an agreement in place for the Ajax manager to take over Manchester United next season. Bro,
how would you rate this on a scale of 1 to 10 Hag? What would you say?
Great question, Alexis. Look, this is I don't know, I don't know much about Ten Hag. We obviously know Ajax produces legends. It's an institution. You can see Robert Lewandowski just winking at Ten Hag down there.
Hey, come get me, buddy.
But no, look, this is, how many more chances are the Manchester United fans going to give? They're, the Glazers or just ownership, they need to sort this out, bro. Can this guy fix what is going on there? Can they bring them back to the glory that they're familiar with and that they're used to? I don't know. I'm assuming that Ajax, as far as developing a culture and maintaining an institution and bringing in all the latest, like,
is this going to bring big name players though? You think big name players are going to be like, oh, Ten Hag? A nice Cobra said Pele Banter Club. This to me doesn't have, and maybe this is why it's the right move. This doesn't have that je ne sais quoi of a Manchester United deal. You know what I mean? It doesn't have the big name appeal. This doesn't have the, oh my God, now the big names are definitely going to want to come here. When Pochettino was the name, I'm like, yo, that dude ain't won shit. He can't even win Champions League with 5 free of the greatest players of all time. He can't win. And now all of a sudden you want to bring him in. Well, Ten Hag hasn't really won anything either. Granted, he's at a different level. He's at a club with a much smaller budget that has to build players. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Can't necessarily just go out and buy whoever they want. Joe Whitlock said goes to one PSG game. I'm a PSG expert. Don't forget how much merch I have. I have actually this dope thing that I haven't worn yet, which I'm going to bring to Europe with me. I want to show you. It's really cool. But you take a look at Ten Hag's career. He's a great manager, but a manager of Ajax.
Look, I think everybody has to start somewhere. You can't,
Manchester United is that?
No, I'm saying you have to, when Sir Alex Ferguson got to Manchester United, he wasn't some legend. He was doing what he was at Aberdeen.
Like 20 years ago.
I'm just saying, you're saying it's like, oh, it doesn't have the big name appeal, but how do you get to the point where you become a manager that does have big name appeal? You got to start somewhere. Maybe this is the situation that will turn things around for Manchester United. Maybe look, I think the main issue.
This is why they made the hire, is because they want him to be the steady the ship. Look, they tried Mourinho, that didn't work. They tried bringing back an old superstar, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, who people forget had management experience. That didn't work out. They brought in Ralph Rangnick. He's doing worse than Ole did, you know? Now they go and bring in someone who is new and up and coming, the hot, new manager. Still doesn't feel like a Manchester United hire. To me, Manchester United, this feels like the right Arsenal hire when they made the Mikel Arteta.
I'm interested in that description. What was the last right Manchester United hire? It can't just be Sir Alex Ferguson. Who after him? Is there anybody that seemed like the right choice?
No, that was it. In fact, it took Sir Alex Ferguson years to get. Took him 5 years really to get to the point where he is the Sir Alex Ferguson we know.
So maybe
that is the last correct Manchester United hire. And also, he ain't gonna get 5 years. This dude's gonna have a preseason and maybe 10 matches before people are willing to give him the benefit of the doubt. After 10 matches, if they're doing poorly, they're going to be calling for his head. People are going to say it was a mistake to hire him.
So maybe this says a lot more about the fan base.
Joe Witt likes that. He'll take Man U up to 11.
Wow.
That's a lot of hog.
You can't ask for more hog, I'll be honest.
Yo, only thing more than that is Hagen-Dazs, dude, which is so sweet when you get there.
So I think maybe this says a lot more about the Manchester United fan base and not having any patience, right? Look, there are not enough of these managers to go around. I saw this, I forgot where, but
Drew Toro said, if he's 10 hog, does that make Ranier 3.5 hog?
I saw this a couple, maybe a couple months ago. I forgot where I saw this stat, but basically saying that at any given time and any like year, there are only about 70 absolute star footballers. Like there's only in the world at one time, there's only about 70. It's like 70, 75 just incredible footballers that are like the foundations of a club and of a team. So you could say that number is even way more reduced when it comes to managers. How many top tier managers exist at one time? It may be 5.
I was about to say 5 sounds about right.
So there just aren't enough to go around. And now that it's gotten more competitive within leagues, in Champions League, and all the different countries, it's Manchester United has to offer their managers something more than just we used to be a top club. And we're used to winning, and that's the culture. And it's like, well, no, you're used to winning because one guy changed everything and rejuvenated this club, and brought something that most clubs won't see in a lifetime. Brought a level of success that people won't see that are not even used to seeing in their lifetime. So. There's a certain level of just being so.
So then, wait, that brings up a great question. What do you think is Erik ten Hag's inspiration for taking the job?
Money, bro.
Yeah, it has to be. But there's also probably if you're the guy that brings the glory back to Man United, you gotta at this point you stand out. Who was it? A nice cold brew said the board, quote unquote, has been trying to figure this stuff out for 10 years now. If you're the guy who brings, and this is I said this to Flex, and he thought I was crazy. I go, if you're a guy who brings a championship, let's say you win the league twice in 3 years at Manchester United, you're the manager. Everyone's going to be like, thank God he brought us back to where Sir Alex Ferguson had gotten us. You're always going to be the vice president. You're never going to be the main guy. You're always going to be second. You have to win an insane amount of trophies at Manchester United before you're the guy. If you're a manager, you're probably a pretty selfish dude. You're probably a pretty egotistical dude. You kind of have to be to want to manage a club, especially at that higher level. Why would you ever take the Manchester United job?
Yeah, it feels like it's losing its appeal, right? I mean, it's been. When's the last time they won the league? The last trophy they won, I think, was Europa, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, when they won the treble under Mourinho. Then they win Community Shield, Carabao Cup, and the Europa.
About what? That was like 6 years ago, something like that. 5-6 years ago.
A while ago now.
So it's and look, you have to blame ownership, right, for letting it get to this point where look that we know what the standard is. The standard is either winning the league or at least making Champions League. And if you're not in that conversation for a club like Manchester United, financially, it's so damaging to your brand. And, for players that may want to come there. So like even in the conversations about like Erling Haaland, and Erling Haaland is it's not even crossing his mind that Manchester United would even be an option. I mean, it doesn't matter.
He's like, oh, that's cute.
That's cute. Real cute club trying to. How'd you get this number? Yeah.
You know what? I'm gonna say no, but that was really dope that you asked. So it's gonna work out when you find someone at your level. But like, all right, Stephen Brandt said, but is Sir Alex thought of as higher than Matt Busby? Here's the thing. You have to wait a generation, right? Before, like someone recently said this on one of these YouTube things. They said, if you're an Arsenal fan, you're old, right? It's like, well, yeah. I mean, who else would pick Arsenal now, right? Like, you have to remember the Henry era in order for you to have an affinity to this club. So I get it. You know what I mean? There's odds are you're not picking it if you're under 30 years old, right? Because you just you weren't alive or it wasn't important to you. And other teams have popped up since then that have been bigger names. Maybe you're a Manchester City fan, or maybe you're a Liverpool fan, or maybe you're a fan of something else. But odds are you're not going to be an Arsenal fan. Don't you kind of have to wait out the people who remember Sir Alex Ferguson before taking the Manchester United job? Kind of has that appeal again?
I mean, look, it is. I think if Sir Alex Ferguson passed the baton, everybody has essentially kind of dropped it along the way. I'm honestly the best manager they've had since Sir Alex Ferguson has been Jose Mourinho, and look how bad that was. But that had some success. But it like always, it always leads to a disrupted locker room and issues with the players and so on and so forth. But look, Manchester United is starting to feel a little bit like it's probably harsh, but like a delinquent school where the teachers can't control the kids at all. Like they just can't. The kids don't even listen. They're just we want to do what we want to do. Like
you talking about every school I went to.
It's
my dean of students was a parole officer twice in a row.
So you got to start looking at the principal and the superintendent and why is the culture of this club so bad? I mean, and you see the former players when you hear Gary Neville talk about the current form of Manchester United, when you hear Rio Ferdinand and it's a little bit like, and back in my day, and in our dressing room, nothing like that. It's a little bit of that, but a little bit of that is what led to they built that foundation for success that was so consistent that now that they're not as successful, it just looks so foreign to a lot of people.
I think at the end of the day, I think there's two people to blame. There's two groups to blame. The front office, you got to blame them for not being good enough to be able to hire the types of people that will get you to the top, as impossible as that is. But yeah, like someone recently said, they got one guy who's a banker and Ed Woodward, clearly doesn't know football. You've got the Glazers or Leeches. I've said this before and I'll say it again. It's a U.S. tax system that benefits you from taking loans against your own asset and putting those loans in your pocket. It's not necessarily bleeding the club. It's actually making the club stronger. Again, I sound like a guy who's, I sound like one of those terrible people who hold press conferences for companies who make seeds that kill everybody. Okay. I get what I sound like, but I promise you when I tell you this, it is simply a system that American tax system benefits. If you do this, it doesn't saddle your club with debt unless you don't have the right approach on how to get out of it. That's it. So you got to get this whole idea of like, there's debt again. It's not 1924 anymore. So get that out of your system. That said, you know who's really to blame is, unfortunately, and look at me sounding even more like this. It's probably the fan base.
Ooh, okay.
The fan base who believes that they're somehow owed a club that is of the top level perpetually.
Yeah.
A club that you almost, and maybe they've done a terrible job of it, but would the Manchester United fan base be able to accept a rebuild?
Probably not. No,
but
I don't
think so.
But this is the curse of being so successful, where this is what's going to happen, because as you're more successful, as you're buying more expensive players, ticket prices go up, season ticket prices go up. So you could understand. I understand your point, like that fans think that they're owed a certain level, a certain standard of success, but you could also argue they are paying for that standard to be maintained because the prices of, they're also investing more of their own money to maintain that standard.
That's true. And look, Arsenal fans do the same thing. I get really annoyed when week after week you've got Arsenal fans singing Mikel Arteta's name, and then he loses the next week, and it's like, I told you this was a bad manager. It's like, you can't have it both ways.
You
can't be that angry
just said
every week.
When I logged on, I didn't expect to hear Alexis simping for the 0.1%. Wow.
Bruh, I told you we out here to make this money. How you think we gonna do it? But my point is, look, the fans aren't wrong in saying we should be asking for the best of our front office. That's what you have them for. I'm just saying, as a group, Manchester United fans don't really come across to me.
This is great.
Alexis said, this is me quote, by the way. The fans need to adjust to a new reality. Here's a bottle for you to win.
Damn, dude. What, you running an Amazon warehouse, dude?
Damn, bro. Have you thought about wearing diapers? We sell them. Manchester United fans live in that Manchester would not, that live in Manchester would not. The international fans in the U.S. or Asia and the Middle East wouldn't. That's interesting because speaking to Flex, and seeing his channel, there's a bit more of a reality there, but I'm not saying there's that much more.
Okay.
I think Manchester United fans in total, I think now they may be so exhausted with this sort of carousel they're on that maybe they're like, all right, fine. Let's rebuild. Can we take a year? Take our L, finish in the middle of the table, obviously not get relegated, but come back even stronger, and then we'll be better off in a few years, kind of like what Arsenal's trying to do.
Yeah, like
if that's the case.
Kind of like just take a break out of Europe, focus on yourself, live, eat, pray, love.
Eat,
pray, love.
We need to live, laugh, and love, dude.
It kind of, somebody, I saw this from
people saying I'm simping for that bag. Joey likes that, simping for that hot bag.
It made me think about Inaki Williams. The forward for Athletic Bilbao.
Mm-hmm.
He has just played in 224 games in a row. He has not missed a La Liga game in 6 years. And you see it there. I have the tweet up from ESPN FC. It says never injured, never suspended, never left out. He needs to be studied. I mean, he needs to be studied. That seems like a little too much. I'm like, what do you mean?
A little bit.
You're going a little too far, you know.
Yeah, why strap him to a table? Why don't we ask him how?
Did,
I mean, he needs to be, what is it? Applauded. How about that?
Okay, a pat on the back. That's all he needs.
Yeah. He needs to be giving a day off.
But this is pretty incredible. If you look at his injury history, he's only been injured 3 times and he was injured in 2015 to 2016. 3, like maybe some leg injuries 3 times. Ever since then, he has not played for. He only has a couple caps for Spain, but he doesn't get called up. So Athletic Bilbao is usually not playing in European competitions that often. So yeah, they're a mid-table team, but for the fact that this guy been able
to 224 games in a row,
it's really remarkable. And he's a pretty good player. Obviously, as far as the consistency and that level of reliability is surreal. But what I'm thinking of, what Manchester United can do with that time off. You can recover. Stop playing all these European competitions. Take a break.
Kick your feet up a little bit. You ain't winning them trophies anyway, bro.
And maybe you can go on a long stretch of some consistency and build to a more successful season.
If anything, Manchester United, you've essentially been training sessions for better clubs. So why not do that? Why not just rest? Kick your feet up.
That's it.
Read a book.
We're just suggesting it, okay? Not bad. Kirby D said he's better than Morata over at Juve. Wait, Morata's where? He's at Juve now. Right?
Because Bilbao is one of those clubs where like you only Basque players could have played there back in the day.
Yeah.
There was like a whole thing about whether he was Basque enough.
Mm-hmm.
Robert from LA said he put Brad Fidel. Joe Whitlock said Brad Fidel, a Cuban Premier League legend. He meant Brad Friedel, started over 300 games in a row. But I like this Brad Fidel guy.
As a goalkeeper, you kind of understand that a little bit more than a forward.
Beard got in the way of playing goalkeeper. No, goalkeeper, they don't run as much. You typically don't get as many injuries.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
It's like...
pretty impressive.
Oh my God, why am I forgetting his name? Goalkeeper for Red Bull. Why am I forgetting his
Spanish name?
Yeah, please, somebody in the chat. Apologies for
bald-headed guy
forgetting. But he in MLS, yeah, he has the record for most consecutive games, I think, in MLS, I believe, if I'm not mistaken.
Great.
Okay. Hate that I forgot his name. I hate myself. So I just want everybody to know. But somebody in the chat is going to tell me. Okay.
By the way, it was a little blurry. I couldn't see it. Was one of your recommended things Mexican pizza?
Mexican pizza?
One of your trending topics? Robles.
Oh, yeah, it does say. Luis Robles. Yeah, there it is. Sorry.
Good job, everybody. What's trending about... Mexican pizza.
I can click on it. Let me see what it says.
Is your boy hungry?
Okay, I guess this might be an ad or something, but I guess Taco Bell fans get their way. Mexican pizza returns May 19th.
This was huge. I've never had the Mexican pizza. I was actually this close the other day from ordering a Crunchwrap Supreme. I've never had one, and everyone freaks out about it. There was a bunch of videos that teach you how to make it.
Oh, so Doja Cat. I don't know if you follow or see Doja Cat on TikTok, but she did a video recently saying that she was like, "Hey, look, everybody." It sounds like something I would do. She basically did a video saying, "Hey," and it was like the camera was super close to her face, and she's like, "Hey, look, everybody, you're gonna start seeing some videos and some songs coming from me soon about Taco Bell. I'm just letting you know, it wasn't my decision to do this, my team, like she's basically blaming her team for getting her signing some deal, some contract with Taco Bell that she is like, I just got to do it. And then and people are like, you know, in the comments, kind of just laughing about it and the fact that she's being so transparent. And then the song came out, and it was the stupidest song in the world about like tacos and Taco Bell or whatever. So
Is this on purpose? This is probably part of the marketing campaign.
I don't know. It seemed genuine that she didn't really want to do it, because I would imagine Taco Bell wouldn't be like, "Hey, can you do a little video about how you don't want to do an ad campaign for?"
No, that is what you do, because I have a feeling if you make a video about how you don't want to do a sponsored content, I'm pretty sure that goes against the contract of that sponsored content.
So it was pretty funny.
You know what? I will try it and I will fold it. How about that?
Okay. So, but speaking of pizza, and we did this last week with the pizza, Rodel Ortiz, the Dominican dude, rolling the pizza up like a cigar, and he was calling it more portable.
So far, that's 2 Dominican dudes I know who have ruined pizza.
so everybody was tagging us in this video because I got to get your reaction to this, Alexis. So this is Barbosa, Luis Barbosa. I don't know. I don't know if he's Dominican. I don't think he's Dominican, but he's pretty funny.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of his videos. Very funny. Very New York dude.
Very New York dude. And
Listen, I understand that we now. Listen, I understand that.
Okay, I just want to play. Also, make sure everybody can hear it. So this is, he posted this video about a new pizza that's out, that's available, and here's his reaction to it.
For those of you who don't know, Uptown is where a lot of Dominicans live. This might be the most Uptown thing ever.
Okay, so here goes.
That we now live in a society where we have to accept everyone for who they are, right? I identify as this, I like this, my preferences are that. I understand, but at a certain point, we have to put our foot down, okay? Because I don't know who it was. I don't know if it was the Jamaicans, the Dominicans, the Haitians, the Trinidadians, the Puerto Ricans, the Cubans. I don't know who it was. But this has to stop, because this what we not gonna do. This is crazy, bro. Ain't none of that, oh, bro, you just a picky eater. Nah, that's disgusting. That's that. Pineapple on pizza, I let it rock. I let y'all slide with that. But y'all dragging it now. This is, if I go to anyone crib and they try to serve me this, automatically, I'm fucking the whole family. This is disrespectful, bro. Y'all are crazy for this one, yo. Y'all nasty, yo. How wild. Listen, I understand.
So,
For those of you who don't know what's happening, is he showed a picture of a slice of pizza with maduros on it, fried sweet plantains, situated on top, not like cutting a little slice. A big old whatever you get next to your rice on top of a pretty cheap looking slice. Now, here's why I know to blame Dominicans, because above it in text said "más duro slice," which if you directly translate that, it just says most hard slice. But duro means the hardest
slice.
The dopest. Duro means like if a girl walked by who was hot, a Dominican would say "mira que dura." Like, dura just means dope. It's like English people use peng. You know what I mean? Like that kind of is fire. It's, bro. I can promise you this. If you want to put something sweet on your pizza, there's something called Mike's Hot Honey. It adds a little bit of spice and a little bit of sweetness. The tomatoes you use should be sweet, so you don't need to really add that much more sweet on top. But if you have like a piece of meat or something, I could understand you wanting to add sweet. If the moment you put plantain or pineapple or anything on a pizza, what you've done is you've just completely discredited everything below it. You've just completely demolished everything that was made below it. It is no different for those of you who do not understand, because you love putting ranch on stuff. This is no different than take whatever it is you love. Okay? So if you're from the South and you love shrimp and grits, this would be like putting ketchup on shrimp and grits. Do you see how your whole body just recoiled with the thought of that? You saw how you just saw your grandmother's eyes freak out and be like, why did you invite this person over our house? because they just put ketchup on shrimp and grits. That right there, that is what this looks like to all of us. Now, all those rules are out the window after midnight. After midnight, if you've been uptown and you've been drinking and someone says like, yo, you want a chimmy, which is a Dominican burger, and you're like, nah, that's a little too much. You're like, yo, you want this slice of pizza with plantains on it? You'd be like, all right. It's after midnight. There's no rules.
So, I mean, look, I'm Dominican, huge fan of plantains. I'm not advocating for this, but is it worse than pineapple on pizza? I don't think it's worse. It's bad. It's not as sharp of a flavor as a pineapple is.
It's almost more overpowering because there's like 3 levels to a plantain's flavor, whereas a pineapple is just sweet and acid. All right. So pineapple used to be a sign of the rich. I don't know. Do you know this about pineapple?
I mean, I can see that there's a lot of fruit that were for the wealthy class until
pineapple. I don't know if you've ever seen this. If you walk in like the West Village, if you walk in certain old neighborhoods, you see this a lot in France. You'll see on the fence there'll be a pineapple at the top.
Yeah.
Of the thing. Pineapple used to be a sign that you traveled a lot. In fact, you used to be able to rent pineapples by the hour, so you could walk around with them. Did you know that? It's true.
So you could rent a pineapple like you rent a Lambo in Miami. Like
100%. Exotic car rentals.
Hey, ladies. Hey, ladies. I got.
What y'all trying to do out here, huh? Oh, just me and my pineapple probably going to get caviar if y'all into it. Whatchamacallit? So I get that it's, it used to have this ilk of like the rich. So there's like a different thing to putting pineapple on pizza is also like taking this thing that's for the people and putting this like rich people's food on, even though pineapple's not that anymore. I get like the symbolism of it. Hawaiian pizza, I've said this before on the show, I'll say it again, invented by a Canadian guy, a Greek guy in Canada, actually. It used to be called Polynesian style.
Colo Blanco said Exotic Pineapple Rentals LLC. Somebody had that business, bro.
Yeah, man. We got all types of pineapple. Why are you asking? It's not just one that I rent to everybody. No, I got a lot of them.
And then girls in the street are like, you probably don't even own that fucking pineapple. Just
I heard you leasing that, man.
Oh, you financing that pineapple? Okay.
I heard your mother had a cosign for that apple. I'm just saying I heard.
That's probably your friend's pineapple.
Oh, I think I saw that pineapple on the street last week with Jasmine, bro. No. But long story short, I get why pineapple has this thing to it that putting it on lower end food for a while became like really popular because it went from like this super upper echelon thing to like everyone can afford it. That now I get that, but you don't put it on good pizza, you put it on bad pizza. If you like pineapple and ham on pizza, you're eating bad pizza. You will not find great pizza makers doing it. You just won't, because the bread is the important part. Now, plantains, come on.
Vamos.
Take it off a slice. Put it next to rice.
You can't, plantains make every meal better.
Crimson Pizza said, Colo Blanco about to be the pineapple rental king of Miami. Call him the Pineapple Poppy. Pineapple Poppy is the best reality show that hasn't been made yet.
It's a respectable business. All right. Man. Okay. A couple other things before we wrap up. Should we react to the Champions League results?
Pele Pineapple. So stupid. I think we've gone on for an hour and 45 minutes.
Yeah, we've gone on pretty long. We'll be back tomorrow, 1 p.m. Eastern time, with our shouts to US. You can see it up there, our American soccer show. So that's obviously a lot of fun results in MLS over the weekend and NWSL as well. So we'll talk about that tomorrow. So join us. YouTube.
Trish Murphy just said, oh shit, just got an email from my kid's teacher that one of the class chickens died. And I will not tell you what I thought of, because when I grew up, saying someone was a chicken or a chicken head meant something totally different.
I mean, yeah, chicken. You don't. All right. I mean, she didn't say that one of the chicken heads died. That's I would be like, why are you
like, oh damn,
damn?
what happened to Raquel, bro?
Well, R.I.P. that chicken. You know, hopefully, I don't know if it's is it a? Do they have like a coop? Because I know, like in school, we used to have like a pet hamster in the back.
You mean like a two-door? Car?
A chicken coop.
Chicken coop? I thought that bad boy was a
I thought preferred SUVs. All right. What was I gonna pull up the Champions League results? That was on. That was the So that was the final, the last legs of so Manchester City and Liverpool move on, and Chelsea. I'm sorry, Real Madrid and Villarreal move on. It's gonna be City Liverpool, right?
Yeah.
Or City Liverpool, and then Real Madrid Villarreal. Okay. So it should be an entertaining next semifinal.
Glad we covered that, as if people didn't already know what happened.
Okay. What was it? There was something that happened in one of the games that well, Real Madrid had that huge comeback. Chelsea had the collapse and blah, blah, blah.
I think Luka Modric said that Chelsea was the toughest team they've played all season.
Okay.
So that's something to take with you if you're a Chelsea fan. You made Luka Modric sweat a little bit. Which no one really does in La Liga or in Champions League.
Yeah, Europa League. This is what we got to talk about. Eintracht Frankfurt knocks out Barcelona. This was incredible. I saw this.
This was incredible. I watched this. This was wild.
So the play from Frankfurt, incredible. We saw the goal from.
No, Liverpool's playing Villarreal.
Oh, okay. I got it wrong. Apologies.
Yeah, Real Madrid is playing Manchester City.
Got it. Okay.
That's gonna be fire.
The goal from Rafael Santos Borre, he had the absolute banger. That was incredible. And then he had the he was number 19. So the Colombian player that played in the '94 World Cup that passed away recently. And he did he gave him like a shout out. He was pointing out at his number, so that was cool. But the one thing I wanted to talk about with this game was there were 30,000 Eintracht Frankfurt fans at Camp Nou. How
the scenes were incredible.
I don't know how
them marching down the street.
How did this happen? This is I don't know if because it seemed like the Barcelona. I don't know. Somebody made a comment, or president or somebody that
it was Freddy Rincon was the player that.
Oh, Rincon. Okay, thank you. Barcelona, it seemed like the higher ups were upset that so many Eintracht Frankfurt fans were at the stadium, but because it kind of did feel like a home game. I'm like, why?
That's also because there was no reason for the Barcelona fans to chant until it got towards the end.
Yeah, there was apparently some sort of protest. I think the fans they were raising the ticket prices. Please correct me if I'm wrong, but there was a point in the game. I don't know if you noticed that the supporters section for Barcelona was completely empty, and then they came.
So it was the start of the second half. They decided to walk back in.
I think like 10 minutes after, or 5 minutes
10 minutes
after.
in.
Yeah,
and then most of them immediately left because like 2 minutes after they came on, Eintracht Frankfurt scored again, and then a bunch of those supporters left. Mad. I think at the end of the day, Chachala Millonari said Barca has a protocol that lets socios sell their tickets. Also can get them on SeatGeek.
So it looks like Barcelona fans sold their tickets to Eintracht
because they were out of town for Easter, says Robert from LA.
Got it. This was incredible. I mean, there were you saw the white shirts from Eintracht Frankfurt filled the stadium.
So many of them. Yeah. There were so many of them. I think this was fun. A lot of people are saying that Frankfurt is now favorites. Brushy said that. I'm a little bit worried that I think they just caught Barcelona lacking. I don't know if these tactics are going to work in the next sort of against their next competition. Who is it? Is it West Ham? Who goes up?
What's the playoff? Here it goes. It's going to be Yeah, West Ham against Eintracht Frankfurt, and then Rebel Leipzig against or RB Leipzig against Rangers. That's the
Shouts to Rangers too. That game was really incredible. Went into extra time up against nine guys.
Yeah.
Of I can't remember what club it was, but that was absolutely incredible to watch. That said,
Braga.
I think
Braga.
Yeah, Braga. That's right. I think the most important thing was told you so about Aubameyang. Told you so.
Shut
that was
up.
Arsenal Aubameyang.
What?
Showing up.
Yes, one game where he doesn't get a hat trick, and all of a sudden he's done.
What, the most important game of the season?
Nah, dude.
What are we talking about?
I think the I mean, it's not his. He did miss. He did miss some good, very, very good chances, but this is also the second leg.
Was he doing all of that tracking back? Was he pressing as hard as he could? Did he take moments off? Yes. Thank you. This was the player that we got rid of, not the one who's scoring all the hat tricks. That's because he wants that contract. And as soon as he does, he's going to go. He's like, look, he didn't just do it to Arsenal. He's done it everywhere he's been. He's going to go right back to who he is. And you saw a little glimpse of exactly what you're going to get next season after you give him that big old bag.
Man, just Andrew said Leipzig are the favorites. I could see it.
We didn't even talk about Arsenal losing. We didn't even talk about Manchester United barely winning against Norwich. We didn't even talk about Tottenham losing.
Because you wanted to talk about why the Super League is perfect and we need it right now. This is your fault.
Then we went to this. What are we talking about? What are we talking about? We're
talking about Barcelona. Yeah, this is newsworthy, dude.
This was 4 days before the stuff I'm talking about.
Oh yeah. I mean, well, the Super League stuff was a year ago, and you want to talk about it now.
Today was the anniversary. I'm talking about.
Everybody's talking about the anniversary. That's right. I forgot. Let me go to the candle that I light for every Super League anniversary conversation.
I'm glad you. To be honest with you, Maguire back kicking Paul Pogba in the face.
Yeah,
we didn't talk about that.
He was pissed. Paul Pogba was angry that he got kicked in the head by his own teammate. There's
Crimson Pizza said, did he arrive on time for the match? Talking about Aubameyang. Probably not. Probably sitting in traffic.
Okay, with his rented pineapple. You know how he does.
Yeah. Iced out pineapple. Damn, yo. I already flooded the pineapple, bro.
Okay, I think that's about it. We've
650 Chris says, my guy Aubameyang, Arsenal probably could have used him this Saturday. It turns out, I don't know if you heard this, Lacazette has COVID.
Oh.
So he might miss like the next 4 matches or something crazy like that.
And it's a good thing you have several other strikers to take his place, and you got nothing to worry about.
Right now, this is starting to look like, all right, I'm Mikel Arteta. I've defended you this whole way. Now you got to earn your keep, my guy.
Three losses in a row, bro. After a pretty good stretch of games. What's your quickest explanation as to what's going on?
Nick Red said Alexis forfeited the right to trash Tottenham's loss by making us sit through the flaming lines in the Super League. Look, I'm just trying to bring a different level to this whole show, dude. If you ain't with it. It wasn't until Chritian went on his old risk rant, honestly, that I was like, we might have been talking about this for too long. What did you ask me? What did I think about what?
A quick explanation as to why Arsenal has lost 3 in a row.
Who cares? That's my quick explanation. Seal it up. Make it a reel, make it a TikTok, make it a short. Here's what, again, I've said this now 2 weeks in a row, but you need to show me who you are by the changes you make. I'm glad Xhaka went back into the midfield. Starting Eddie Nketiah at first seemed like a bit odd. Now that we know why Lacazette wasn't available, makes more sense. I think Crimson Pizza took it right out of my mouth. Crimson Pizza said, break in case of emergency, recall Balogun. We need something. Eddie Nketiah is not it. Is it Martinelli up front? Look, the risk of not buying in January, even some mid-level players that could have held us down until the end of the season. The risk of that was you had a thin squad. And if that squad all of a sudden gets even thinner by way of COVID or injury or anything else, we're in a pretty bad position. Now we're in that pretty bad position. 4th place is at risk. 5th place is now looking like it's most likely what we're competing for. And that's not a great place to be. It's still above where I expected, but every fan of this club got a taste of potentially third. And now you're going to do this to us? We need to bunker down. We need to find a way to win points. We need to find a way to... This would have been a great opportunity to be 3 points above or ahead of Tottenham and kind of give us that buffer to figure things out. We now lost that buffer. We now need to move. We now need to compete and be even with Tottenham, who look like a stronger club, even though they lost to Brighton. And look, they're Tottenham. They bottle at the end of the season. It is what it is. We need to find a way. Normally, I would say the inspiration, the intensity, the ability to sort of believe in yourself and be like, come on, let's go, usually comes from Ramsdale, and that didn't even happen. So I just think that was a bad night out for everyone. Everyone across the board was bad except for Forster. That kid made a bunch of incredible saves. I don't think I've ever seen him blink. But incredible saves. And really, we probably should have been able to walk out of there with a draw based on some of the shots that we've had. I'm a little worried about our ability to finish fifth, but we now need to figure something out up front. That final third, it ain't it, Chief. Do something.
Okay.
Tavares didn't look too bad. Everyone complaining about Tavares. That's his fan base. You have one bad match, and that's who you are for the rest of your life. Everybody needs to relax. Nuno Tavares looked pretty good. Sambi Lokonga looking better. Not great, looking better. But again, a lot of big shoes to fill the way Partey was playing towards the end of the season.
Sure.
So we need to figure this out.
Next
and
match
I'm telling you, the reason why this season ain't over is because we still play Chelsea, which is the next match, and we still play Tottenham. You win both of those, we goody. Odds that we're going to win both of those, slip to none.
I mean, look, the next five are Chelsea, Man United, West Ham, Leeds, and Tottenham. And then the final two are Newcastle, Everton. It's going to be tough. This is it's difficult to figure out. Maybe a game against Chelsea will raise Arsenal's level and help them against, pretty much every team. Especially that West Ham game is going to be huge because West Ham can take fifth. If they win that game. So it is not going to be easy for Arsenal. So
look, I will be at the game against Manchester United, and that game is now way more important than we thought it was.
Right.
We thought it was going to be a breeze against Manchester United. Now this game means a lot for everybody involved now.
Okay. All right, folks. Thanks for hanging out with us today. As always, we appreciate it. Hit the subscribe button here on YouTube if you have not. YouTube.com/soccercooligans. We're here every Monday and Tuesday, 1 p.m. Eastern time. Mondays, we talk all things football, and Tuesdays, we talk all things soccer. So we'll be back tomorrow. A lot to cover in MLS and NWSL. And as always, if you want to become a member on YouTube, feel free to do that. You can help support the channel. And if you want to join our Patreon, you can do that as well. Patreon.com/soccercooligans. I want to give a shout out to some of the new folks that have joined on Patreon. Let me get the names. I got them somewhere here.
I got him right here. Okay. Shouts to Stephen Brand, who's in the chat.
So Stephen. Yeah, Stephen's an OG Gully Squad, so thank you so much.
Jennifer Montoya, thank you so much for becoming a Gully Squad member.
Thank you. I want to point this out because somebody mentioned this the other day. They were like, it's kind of funny. They were like, hey, whenever I hear the shout outs for the Patreon names, it's always the presumption is that the people who join Patreon are white people, and then it was like this came from I believe there was someone Hispanic, and they were just like, yo, I like supporting, but I don't really hear too many Hispanic names when I hear.
So be the change you want to see.
So thank you, Jennifer Montoya. We appreciate you.
Yeah. Thank you, Esteban Brand.
We'll Latinify the names if you want.
Oh, muchas gracias, Casey Smothers. She's from Costa Rica.
So we appreciate it. Thanks everybody joining Patreon. Go to shotstuffus.com if you'd like to support.
There's a couple names we haven't mentioned. Leslie Ryder, Justin Mitchell, Sonam Wangchuk. Thank you so much.
Okay.
And I believe the rest we've mentioned.
All right. So thank you to all our new Patreon members. We appreciate y'all. The 650 Chris says, Flagrant 2 no longer does sports, but it would be cool to see you guys back on there. Yeah, we should. I've been speaking to Akash, and we should join them.
Yeah,
again.
we'll get that done. Shouts to Andrew Scholes, who just sold 12,000 seats at Radio
City Music
Absolutely
Hall.
incredible.
It's incredible the amount of success those guys have had, man. Just again, we always say that, I mean, we were doing shows with them in dingy basements, and to see the level of success that they've been having, it's just incredible. It's just the hard work over the years they've put in. It's inspiring to say the least. So, but shouts to them. Okay.
Shouts to every member of Gully Squad. Thank you. With that, you guys weren't able to put this this show. Once again, I want to thank OS, who normally lets us film there. I'm sorry that we had to do this separate. I'm a little under the weather, as you could tell. I'm starting to feel like I'm coming out of it. Some of you are like, no, we heard you on the show. You aren't. But hopefully maybe tomorrow we could be together. But this was, again, look, we try our hardest to be in the same room. But unfortunately, some weird cold got me. So here I am.
He got everybody. It happens.
But again, I've tested negative for COVID like 3 times, which is so weird because it feels like it. But you know what? I didn't lose my taste or my smell. So
I mean, and that's Alexis losing his superpowers would be devastating.
It really would. That was the biggest fear. I'm like, ventilator, I can walk around with one, but the no taste or smell.
I'm trying to eat pizza with plátanos on it, bro.
Oh, never.
Don't take that away from me.
The worst.
All right, y'all.
Love you guys.
Y'all the absolute best. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. Hit that subscribe button. Hit that like button. You know what to do. We'll see you tomorrow.